Okay, welcome to turn one of Metal on Metal. Yeah, I'm just going to press go here and watch everything go off. I'm not expecting a tremendous amount of stuff to happen on this turn, except maybe some traffic jams where I've screwed up the orders or people getting bogged in the fields or stuff like that. I'm not even confident we'd actually see anybody. Something I may have miscalculated about, though, is the fact that my reinforcements are going to be coming in 15 minutes. So first of all, probably might mash some of these turns together and not do them one per day. Otherwise, it's going to be, 2 weeks until some actual armor properly arrives here. This is just the kind of recce phase. So on the practical side, that's quite likely to happen. On the other side, yeah, I'm throwing everything forward, and there is 50. They're going to be on their own for 15 minutes. So, yeah, could be interesting. Maybe not, but yeah, we've pretty much Urban's just dashed up there in the Schwimmwagen with FJ. Oh, I'm actually kind of worried he's going to tip over into the stream. Look at those contours. Yeah, these convoys look like they're doing okay. All these other little bits and bobs are just moving fine. Nobody looks like they're particularly problematic. Right, yep. I'm just going to press go and get that back. There's no sense hanging around here. We just need to get on with it. So no more orders. Big red button. Let's go. Okay, turn 2, or file 6 of Metal on Metal, the Winter 25-26 turn by turn. I'm just going to press go and we can get on with it. We might get some contact down the road. We will see. We'll see if I regret not turning Urban and FJ off earlier, because it kind of struck me that Limbo can get onto that corner and look up the road much faster than I can because it's closer. Yeah, at least we'll find out where he is if we do that. Yep, called it. That's gotta be a Chaffee. Drive fast, the little Schwimmwagen. Itchy Scoop is coming up. Ooh, 2. Now, Chaffee versus Panther. I know who's winning that. Yes! Okay. Here we go. Oh, and he can't see him. He can't quite see him. That's... Where did all this snow come from? Yeah. Yes, he's fine. Okay, so you probably maybe sort of saw him going across there, which makes sense. That figures. So, yeah, brakes on for you. I think we might be good there. Ha 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 ha! Yes, here we go. That's me giggling like a madman right before that Itchy Scoop just gets blapped by something. I think that's all we got. So yeah, Chaffee's going this way. That makes total sense. Yeah, so this is something I thought about as well. We have these 2 linear features, so like the road and the railway. It figures that it would make sense to have something coloring the linear features. It's just the shape of the ground that is saving Urban and Co in there. Right. Apart from that, no signs of anything else. Cool. So, stop and engage. We are pull down. What's it look like from that chappie's position? Is that chappie moving? No, it's not. Come on, let's go. First blood on the next turn. How's everybody else doing? See, this, we've got a bit of a dip going on here. Should be okay, I think. Just in case they actually get into position there. Alright, so I'll take the rest of the ammo that's in the old Strimwagen there. It'd be worth getting them out of there. And then we've got Proximal there in reserve, and also Spooker in the Tiger HQ, who is... You know what? We might park there. He's got some good arcs there. And yeah, that's Pelican Taco in position as well. That's excellent. Still fighting the shape of the slope a little bit. We should be okay. So, let's get... I don't think he's going to reach this in time. But let's get him out. Let's get Jeff Brown and co out in there. So yeah, contact turn 2. It could be a very interesting here whether or not to actually push. So we've got 2 more Panzer IIIs heading that way. Proximal in reserve. Or rather, we've got Jordan COO. I'm just going to call you Jordan C. I'm sorry, I can't be bothered with the numbers. And Von Claire heading that way. Yeah, I mean, there's 5 chappies in a platoon. I think the forces are quite equal. I could go look it up. We're not doing this blind. We know what each other's got, or we have the ability to know. So, what, 3 chappies there? Because they all look like light tank icons? That means there's 2 unaccounted for, which maybe, I mean, it depends how far he wants to go. He could push this flank and establish some light contact up here, or we could go that way and, I don't know, whatever. Too early to tell, but it looks like Itchy Scoop, and when I actually find the clipboard, Itchy Scoop and his gunner Nicholas. It's your time to shine, buddy. I've got a chaffee for you to munch on. We'll find out if he's seen it yet. So yeah, should be fun. Let's get that one back. Okay, welcome back to turn 3 of Metal on Metal. We have discovered a bit of a screw-up here. I did think it was a little weird that we had Spooker, the Tiger Company HQ, and Itchy Scoop, who's one of the Panther Company HQs, and no other tanks. I thought it might be supposed to be some kind of like forward element or something, but Limbo doesn't have any of that. And if we check the reinforcement setup for the original scenario, because we tweaked this a little bit, these 2 tanks aren't supposed to be here. They're supposed to arrive with the reinforcement waves. So, to keep things even, at the end of this turn, I'm just going to reverse them back into the deployment zone. It might not be that big a deal. It Might be for that Chaffee. But there's nothing I can do about it this turn. So we're just going to back them off. And it's going to be down. It's going to be a Panzer III Chaffee fight. So yeah, let's get the ball rolling. Yeah, I'm going to feel bad if Itchy Scoop and his gunner Nicholas manage to actually annihilate some Chaffies, but you know, such is life sometimes, I guess. He is stopping there, and there's not that much reverse slope to play with, so, you know. Looks like he missed the first shot. Might be able to get away with it. Might not be able to get away with it as well. I mean, I assume it's Itchy Scoop eyeballing that Chaffee. Yep. So, excellent job, but also some feel bads there. We are just playing a game after all. Okay, so we'll just need to remember to reverse them back. But what actually happened? Because we're still want some cool stuff happening. So off we go. It's a hull down moving Chaffee. And no surprises that we missed. The Chaffee also got a shot off, so yeah, so let's run off over there to hide behind that barn. That's not actually one of the objectives. So. Did it? Yeah, it's just tucking in behind there. And we got a bit of smoke. What was going on there? So, he was actually aiming at that Chaffee, but this moved out of the way, and this one has popped up. And some smoke has gone off at some point. That looks like a smoke shell. Was that you? Yes, you missed. Someone else has put a smoke shell on there. Okay. The Chaffee tries to kill a cloud. Yeah. No, no real conquest. No real contest there. But we're also getting a contact over there. Who's conceived that? It is also the Panther. So obviously this is actually really quite a good position. Watching him zip across over there. But yeah, we'll back out of that mess, and we'll bring Spooker back as well. Back to either around here-ish. So yeah, nothing else has particularly happened. Urban and FJ over here in the Schwimmwagen. I think they've lost a bit of speed because they're off-road now, but they have just about gotten up here, so we can stash her in this wood and have ourselves a little listening post. That's good news. And then we have Jordan, C, and Von Claire, who are pushing that way fine. Getting snagged a little bit on the wet railway line. Admiral Coro is moving on Auerhof, and we have Fax 2 and Jeff Brown moving in to plunk themselves in that wood. Eric 96 is in position over here. And a little dip in the ground. Have I got the shaders on? I do have the shaders on. Sure. You know, hopefully that's a reasonable enough position. We might need to give them a bit of a nudge. And then we've got Pelican Taco, who's dismounted and moving through the woods here, so we can get an eyeball on this flank. Okay, cool. So, step 1. Reverse! Reverse, 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 and we'll get Spucker out of there as well. I think we can probably stash him maybe a little bit back here, so he should be safe and not really able to see anything, and he's reasonably close to the deployment zone. Eric, we need you to look that way. So we can cover that hillside. And yeah, it's not a bad little reverse slope little position there. Yeah, I need to think of something to do with some of the Shrimpwagen, so that's hammer time there. Let's stop you there. You dismount and run in here. You wait a few seconds. And then if we run you across to here, because I want to give the impression that we haven't stopped. If that makes sense. So I want Limbo to think that we're just passing through here and we're going into this wood over here. Those tanks, I think, are fine. That's Jordan C. and Von Clare. Yes. Itchy Scoop is reversing. Admiral Corro is moving into position. Jeff Brown and Fax 2 are fine. Do I want to move Proximal up? Probably a good move. This was actually quite a good position there. I just don't trust the Panzer III's gun on that front. But we can keyhole ourselves in here and exploit from there. So yeah, cool. But let's get that back. Right, so we're back for turn 4 of, yeah, it is turn 4 of Metal on Metal. The last turn we blapped a very unfortunate Chaffee down there because I have a Panther and a Tiger that I shouldn't have, so we're pulling back with them on this turn. Everybody else is just kind of still maneuvering for position. So we know there's at least 4 other Chappies out there. There is one hanging around this farm, which is not an objective. I keep thinking it is. It looks like, yeah, if we see a line there, and there's a gap in the fence in the stream, I think that, yeah, this is all actually foliated. We're just so far away you can't see because it's not rendering it. So, yeah, looks, I don't know what there is over here. This might be, I haven't seen any jeeps yet, so it could be that Limbo sent his scouts in jeeps over onto this flank and is staking a claim over here with the Chaffies. But regardless, let's just press go and see what we get here. That's Urban disembarking to make it a listening post in there next to Rhyme Camp. And Itchy Scoop there in the Panther, who is not supposed to be there, is popping smoke and getting out of dodge. As is Spucker down there. Oh, yep. There was another Chaffee. Say another, I'm pretty sure we spotted that one earlier. And Proximal coming up out of the reserve there. It'll be interesting to see who's spotting that. Okay, right. So yeah, nobody exploded, which I guess is good. It's not very exciting. Who's spotting that? Ah, it's FJ in the Schwimmwagen, who is, I suspect, is not long for this world. Might depend on whether he gets machine gunned or that Chaffee engages with the cannon. Now, was it always him making the spot? Ah, no, Urban did a little bit as well while they were stood up. Cool. We can actually see things from that position, which is nice. Hard to tell if this is two or we just got another contact icon there. They could easily be two Chaffies. You know, heading out here. This isn't one of the objectives, but you know, hard cover is always nice. You could cover off this flank, or come up this way towards Venthof, which is where Von Clare is moving in the general direction of. So, yeah. Everybody else looks okay. That's Pelican Taco there. Eric 96 has just turned around a little bit. Maybe it's not a great position. Maybe I could get him to go to face this way and be flank on, which is terrible, but he would be exploiting the terrain better. I don't think that Panzer III is going to take any kind of abuse whatsoever, to be honest, so that might be worth doing. Just to lower the profile. And then we have Admiral Corot is now in position at Auerhof. And Jeff Brown is hopping out of the Schwimmwagen, which is really tiny. I mean, look at it, it's like a clown car. I didn't really appreciate how small it was. Look, they literally leap out of it. That's hilarious. They're getting in there where they can listen for tanks and things. So yeah, we might send that Schwimmwagen back somewhere else. Make it look like we are doing other things. But yeah, nothing excessively exciting there. Now, do I think that Von Clare is going to beat the Chaffies in a race to that farm? Do I want to stop here, get in the wood? Good question. I think we might adjust some of those orders. And plop ourselves in there where we can kind of... Oh, hang on. Let's go left a bit. I'm a little bit worried. So the classic screw up your own spotting with in combat mission is that you park your tank under a tree and the driver can see everything, but the gunner is blind because he has like a tree branch in front of his periscope. So we might just slot in just on the edge of the wood, just there. A little bit of cover, but not too much. And we can refine it. Oh. Just quietly checking if you could pop smoke with the with the old Schwimmwagen. We might get Jordan C to slot in here. Should we, or should we go all the way up there? Because what I'm worried about is that he's going to be crossing here, as those chaffies are coming up onto that hill or coming this way, and he's just going to get hit in the flank. So we might hold this end of the wood. Instead of going up to the other end. That might be a little bit safer. We'll get Admiral Coro to slot in here, looking along there for now, so he's out of the way. And get Fax to back. Back that way. In fact, let's get him all the way back to the start, I think. Back to the deployment zone. We can always, it's always useful having like an extra transport vehicle hanging around. Let's check what Pelican Taco can see. It's not ideal, but it will do. And the slightly weird and bizarre. I don't know. Are these hedges actually? I'm just wondering if the hedges are passable. I don't think it's bocage like in Normandy. I think it's just a big, thick hedge. So let's see if we can come forward a little bit to about here. Try and get the best of both worlds. Proximal, I think, is going to be okay. Itchy Scoop has the world's slowest reverse speed. Spooker is just tucked away there in that woods. Urban and Co. You're mostly there to listen, I guess. We might take our time, crawl up through the wood and get out here. Well, you still can't really see very much. Yeah, let's just hang there for now. And Jeff Brown. I kind of like the idea of just lurking on that corner. Well, let's stay there for now. Cool. Nice and simple. We might get some contact out on the far left in the next turn. Between the Chaffies and the Panther 3s, which I'm not optimistic about, but we'll see how that pans out. Okay, it's turn 5 of Metal on Metal, and I'm just going to press go because we are kind of rushing through these earlier turns. So, FJ there, it is FJ, yeah, might get... Oh, I think you might have gotten away with it. There was a Chaffee on there that was over there that was eyeballing. So it looks like Limbo's going around, hooking around my left, or trying to get a toe hold over there. Maybe, we'll see. We're getting Von Clare and where's the other one? Jordan C. Onto the corners of this wood block here. Next to the Rheinkamp objective. Yeah, so a nice straightforward turn. Nothing exploded. Itchy Scoop is reversing it down to the way. Proximal's just got in position there. Eric 6 has, yes, successfully annihilated this chunk of hedge there. So we'll bring him back a bit. And FJ made it. Now, did Limbo? I think he did throw the brakes on there. Ah, and he just randomly fired up into the air. They're not very good at their first turn shots, aren't these Chaffies? Should have used the coax. And yeah, there's nothing I think particular to write home about there. I think we're all good. Ah, my artillery's here. Is that all of my artillery? Yes, it is. So that's what, 2 6-tube batteries of Wesps with 105mm guns, 192 rounds of HE each, plus 60 smoke. And I have no idea what to do with them, at least for now. Let's bring Eric 96 back a little bit, so he's a bit flatter there. We can bring Hammer Time back around with the with that. Schwimmwagen. Let's get FJ out. He can just plonk himself into the woods there. His job is done. I just want to create the illusion that I've dumped a scout team in those woods. I'm not convinced that Limbo will fall for that, because it depends how much whether he spotted that the vehicle went over here with 3 passengers and left this wood without them. Which, you know, is call that Jordan C. It's a possibility. It's something that's easy to miss, especially if you're zoomed out quite a lot. Let's just tweak Von Claire's positioning here a touch. So we can get some eyes on that side as well, because if I was Limbo, I would want to use the hedge. Would I? You know, I think we're okay there, actually. Let's come back a tiny little bit. Let's check what it looks like from the enemy's position. Yeah, if we come back a little bit, then we'll be hull down. Ish. And quite a bit of a... Yeah. Not that easy to spot. Ugh. Just yawning midway through recording that. That's high quality content. And yeah, Admiral Corro's gotten into a position where he can't actually see all that much, but he's there. So yeah, nothing else to really write home about there. Let's just send it back. Turn 6 of Metal on Metal. Again, I'm just going to press go because they're in the early stages here. I'm not expecting anything dramatic to happen. Though that said, obviously those chaffy contacts from there have now moved on to this tree line here. So Von Claire, it's not impossible he might get an eyeball on them. They are in a bit of a dip down there though, so... Oh, that looks like 3 contacts. Yeah, he's definitely pushing this flank then. We might need to shuffle Proximal around and rejig Admiral Currow, see if he can get some line of sight through the trees over onto this way. But yeah, no actual contact. Everybody else is moving off fine. So yeah, where are we? Here. And here-ish, so he's on this reverse slope. We're not in a position to get eyes on each other there yet. And where's the other one? Is around here-ish. So Urban, I think, is a little bit, maybe a little bit too deep inside the wood here to get spotted as of yet, but we'll see how long that lasts. So Von Claire is fine. He can definitely... I need to think about what I'm actually doing here. So right now, I have grabbed a front line's worth of land going around the bottom of Rheinkampf through Auerhof and off to this flank. I need to decide whether I want to keep pushing or I want to hold on to it. Now, ideally, I want these kind of engagements. So a perfect engagement for Von Claire here is he's sitting here nice and happily in his little hull down position behind the wood, and a Chaffee just rolls out flank on and he can blap it in the side. The worst possible engagement, seeing as I don't think he can get behind me, would be head-to-head, because I reckon the Chaffee can take the Panzer III no problem. Which would be him... Well, would be if I advance or pie off this corner and he's sat here waiting for me. So, where might Limbo send his Chaffies? Well, I mean, one over here. Over here will be a pretty good position because he can cover off this flank, get some early warning, and he can scoot down, hull down. It might be a little bit exposed to the farm, but he's probably going to understand that I don't have any tanks in there. Alternatively, maybe on the wood corners, the same way that I've been doing, so he can work the cutoff. So, yeah, I don't want to get into his line of sight, essentially. I want to let him come to me, because that should be more tactically advantageous. Now, let's just flip it around and look at it this way. It also means that we've got a dead Chaffee here. We definitely saw a Chaffee in this farm here, and then we have 3 more. So this flank could be empty. Or at least it's got just some scout teams in it. Because he basically has the same setup as me here, except I have a couple of tanks because the reinforcements got screwed up somewhere. So... how this pans out could be really important. But I also want to play defensively because we're only 6 minutes in. We're not even halfway to getting any actual reinforcements that I'm supposed to have. So I don't want to push my luck. I just want to, you know, I've got a reasonably good position, I think. I think the best thing to do is going to be to just put the ball in his court. So let's... Okay, yeah. Admiral Corot can sort of cover this angle from where he is. It's not great, but that means it's also not great for the enemy. Von Claire we've covered before. How's Jordan C doing? Covering off this corner. Probably okay. Where can we slot Proximal in? Because part of me wants to bring him round. So we basically 2 choices, I think. We can go down here, down this side, and bring him up, slot him in on this, around about this corner. So he'd be exposed over onto that flank. but we'll be able to get another set of eyes over here. Or we can flip that and bring him onto this corner where the range is a bit bigger, so we might have a bit more grace when it comes to terrible things happening. And we'll be able to cover off this flank a bit better, maybe help Von Claire out if it comes to that. So I think that's what we're going to do. Because we got the centre pretty well covered, he said before it all went wrong. So we might just bring him up here into the edge of the wood. Should be okay there, I think. And he might not be able to see a thing, which I think is rubbish. Yeah, let's bring him in there. So it's that corner that I think could be risky for proximal in this position, and that's got a load of trees in the way, so we should be alright. Eric 96 came back a little bit, so he's nice and hulled down there. He's actually pretty well concealed, come to think of it. So yeah, something I am really bad for that you might have noticed in some of the other ones of these is when I find a good position, I stick something in it and I leave it there. And that's usually not that great an idea. You should have a good position and then hide somewhere else. Because if you just sit there, yeah, you might have a good field of fire, but the enemy also has a good field of fire. And they're going to be able to spot you and engage you, and you might, you know, that's quite likely to be not exactly what you want. So let's... there's not a lot of help on call for Urban and his team there. So let's give them a target arc to hold fire, and then they can hide. So, you know, if a chappie comes by, they might take some pot shots at the TC and give their position away. So I don't really want that. But if at the same time, if a chappie does get close, obviously I would want to have a go at it before it has a go at me, if that makes sense. And Jeff Brown is doing okay in there, so we might just go for a little bit of a wander through the wood here. See if we can't insinuate ourselves into the undergrowth, say down here, where we can, well, according to this we can't, but I reckon we probably can. So this gap, that gap there is a really important gap if Limbo wants to follow up with the follow up the chappies. So I obviously want to get eyes on this area if I can, and I reckon we probably have a reasonable chance of doing that from there. Welcome to the exciting world of being a scout. So yeah, no artillery targets to speak of yet either. I don't want to waste my arty on things just yet. That's okay. Let's get that gone. Okay, it's turn 7 of Metal on Metal. Again, I'm just going to press go. We might see some stuff over here as Limbo starts moving his chaffies into position. Like I said at the end of the last one, I'm pretty much intent on letting him come to me here and not taking the risk of entering his field of fire. So the only interesting thing, unless something kicks off here, is going to be Proximal starting to shuffle around this way. But it kind of looks like he's settling in on that line there, which makes sense. There's some sensible positions there. Okay, so nothing happened. Not unexpected, I can live with that. So if we think one Chaffee here, yep, he's in defilade from that wood, and he can work the cutoff on, is that Rhineback? I'm never gonna, yeah, on the Rhineback objective there. You know, so he can shoot behind it and see if I transition anything from my right to his left. Or the other way around. Whatever. And then we have this tank, which is kind of in between. And it's got the hull down position to fall back into. And this one on this corner. That figures, that makes sense. It's smart stuff, you know? He's also, I mean, I have to think, I'm thinking obviously about how I'm got the position I want, and I'm taking it slow now, and I'm not particularly interested in pushing my luck. He's down a tank compared to me because of the reinforcement screw up. So that might, it's reasonable to expect that that might make him a bit more cautious. That's Jeff Brown and co having a walk off through the woods to get to the other side, get some eyes on over there. So yeah, nothing particularly exciting, but this is the early phase, or the early phases. Let's bring that objective that way. I can't see over there because of the ground. That's cool. And yeah, okay, so yeah, like I said, there's not much to do except just send it back. All right, turn 8, file 16. All eyes on this flank. I'm just going to press go. We might see a Chaffee again. Who knows? Looks like they're having a bit of a shuffle. It's hard to tell because we're just dealing with sound context here. But it might have been a good move. Shuffling proximals. Advance there, so it's, oh, contact. Come on, Von Claire, get him. Is that, that was too quick. Was that the machine gun? Are we discovering that? Yes, I think we may be discovering, by Von Claire, we may be discovering that the Chaffee will absolutely stomp a Panzer III. Let's go look at that in more detail. Where's my clipboard? Where's my red pen? Oh dear, because somebody didn't make it. That might change the dynamic of what's going on here. Okay, so we have Von Claire and his gunner Brofist spot a Chaffee, which is hull down-ish. I mean, the hull's down behind a wall and this trunk of hedge. Von Claire's probably about as hull down, I think, as he's going to get. Could maybe have been a little bit better. So I think we're going to start off with some machine gun fire. Yeah, and a miss. Awesome. And the Chaffee turns around, and we give it another burst, even though the TC's gone in. Bounce a shell off the turret, and eat one. Surprisingly, it looks like everybody made it out, except for what we got: commander gunner, loader. The driver copped it, which figures given the impact. So that is we don't have a driver. Might come back to that later. I need to get a list of non-assigned, get that list of non-assigned names up and running properly. Is there any follow-up? I mean, yes, running away is probably a good move. Running away that way, maybe less of a good move. Okay, so no extra casualties. And we've lost sight of the offending Chaffee. So yeah, we just bounced off the turret there. That's MG fire. Where's the second? Yeah. We are not getting through that turret armor with the 50mm gun. And that could have gone a little bit differently if they managed to dome the TC. But they missed. And yeah. So that changes the dynamic a little. I'm now less confident about my ability to stop anything. And I find myself in the weird position of being a German tank player here who now has to start looking for flanking shots. Interesting. That is particularly annoying because we did have basically a flanking shot on that. It's a very narrow angle, but we were not unreasonably flank on. It just Brofist there in the gunner's seat went for the turret and it bounced. So yeah. What else did we get? Yeah, so the other Chaffee has headed up over here and is probably going to peek this corner. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a nice solid position there. The question we've got is whether he's going to be able to exploit. You know, I need to, well, oh, my brain reset a little bit while I'm thinking there. Right, what do we need to do? I think the obvious thing is to bear in mind that we can't really afford to get into head-to-head confrontations. Obviously. So I need to consider what do I do here if Limbo pushes this flank, which he might not do. He's got two chappies up here. He could try and punch it. I'm expecting him to stay there at Venthof. That is an objective. He can cover Rime Camp from there and shut down this flank a bit, at least against the Panzer IIIs. I feel like I should get enough warning if he tries to come this way, though. At which point we can flip Jordan C round to fire this way. And maybe bring Proximal out round this way or round that way, depending on where the Chaffies are going, because that means... oh yeah, Admiral Currow can see that way as well, can't he? So let's reverse up just a little bit, maintain a bit of that field of fire onto Rheinkampf and get that house in between us and the enemy there. If he comes around this way, I don't think he'll be able to make it in one, so we'll be able to turn around and maybe get him in the flank. Yeah. We will see. That does change the dynamic a little bit. What are we on? 8 minutes in? Right, so we're nearly halfway there. We'll get some tanks in, proper tanks in a bit. Proper tanks. Yeah, that puts Eric in a bit of a conundrum. So I might, because obviously where he is, he might be hulled down, but that ain't going to help him. So I might load Pelican Taco up onto Eric and drive them over here. Because I think almost all of his chappies are accounted for, and stash Eric behind the wood facing this way. Get a bit of flanking fire on, and get Pelican Taco into this wood block for some extra early warning. So let's run you out of there and mount up. I really want to bring the tigers forward, the tiger and the panther forward, like Spooker and Itchy Scoop, because they would absolutely stomp on these chappies. But can't afford. No, we're not going to do that. So yeah, 1-1 on the tank front. 1 light tank each. Let's get that one back. Alright, welcome back to turn 9 of Metal on Metal. We lost a Panzer III last turn. This is Von Clair's Panzer III, which valiantly bounced 2 shots off the turret of a Chaffee before getting punctured. So that's our first casualty, who was Father Ted. He ended up being Von Clair's driver by virtue of being at the top of the list of people who I missed out when I was inputting the names. So everybody else is okay. They're running off this way though, so I sense machine gun fire in their immediate futures. So the fact that the matchup between the Chaffee and the Panzer III is as bad as I thought it was going to be has rejiggered my expectations here. I need to really hold on to the next 6 minutes until we get some real tanks to turn up. Not the ones that are already here, because they're not supposed to be there. So I'm just going to press go, and we will see if Limbo decides to exploit his advantage, or whether he goes firm where he is over on that left. So that one's definitely moving, but where it's moving to could be the question. Plus, obviously, we have Pelican Taco is going to hoof it over to Eric 96. They hop on the tank and they're going to go up there. But that's a longer term thing. I think we're okay over there for now. But I definitely want that Panzer III in a flanking position, just in case. So yeah, nothing particularly exciting happening there. Just going off the sound contacts, it looks like he's digging in with these 2 Chaffies, and this one is coming back round. Which, you know, if he can get all 3 of them to punch up, he might have a good time. Does that mean I need to... You'd probably be courteous, should we say, to bring Itchy Scoop back there, where he can't just shut that down quite so easily. Yeah, there's Pelican Taco running across to Eric. Jeff Brown is continuing his trudge through the woods. We're not getting any contacts or anything like that. And the survivors of Von Clair's Panzer III are at least not dead. He should take the hat off, though, before somebody realizes that that makes him in charge. I don't know what we're going to do with those guys, but they're still panicking, so we can't control them. And yeah, that's about it, really. Not much else to write home about there. Just gotta wait for the rest of the tanks. Alright, welcome back to turn 10 of Metal on Metal, and again, I'm just gonna press go. We're kind of waiting to see what Limbo does over here with his little chaffy triplets. That's about it for action. I'm not expecting anything else unless Jeff runs into something in this wood block. And meanwhile, we just got Pelican Taco hopping up on Eric 96 there on the tank, and then they can push up there when that's done. It does look like he's concentrating over there and bringing the third chappie round. And ooh, something exploded. I suspect that was a 75mm chaffee round going in the direction of, yep, Von Clair's dismounted or bailed out survivors there. Okay, so not much happened apart from that. It looked like they just came under fire. That's about the extent of what's going on. Oh, they decided to panic and run further this way and then came under fire. That figures. Well, I guess that's 175mm HE shell that can't get used later. And there should be some MG fire, I think, coming their way. Oh no. Who copped it? It was the loader. Where's my clipboard? Where's my red pen? That was Hans... Oh wait, no it wasn't. It was Toast Puppy. The first of the K9 tank crew down. Gutted. Died to a chaffee on turn 10. There's nothing I can do about this. They're still in a state of panic, out of control. They haven't demonstrated a tremendous amount of self-preservation by running into a wood. In fact, when the Panzer III got taken out, they ran that way. Would have been a lot smarter to run this way. That's not necessarily just the pixel tripping thing. People under stress do all kinds of weird stuff. So we have the third chaffee coming around here, and via a quirk in the combat mission engine, I'm going to guess, seeing as though a hole magically appeared in this fence, that it is coming this way. So yeah, another bit of hull down to play with. Might need to pull Proximal back because he's not going to win a 1-to-1 with a chaffee in that frontal arc. So let's remember to do that. Jeff Brown is happily walking through the woods, not hearing anything, not seeing anything. Nobody's shooting at him. He is just going on a very militaristic hike. And that's cool, that's fine. And meanwhile, Pelican Taco has mounted up. This really is, like, tank riding is actually really useful. It would be nice if it was in the modern titles more. I understand why it's not. Because it's not supposed to be done in combat, but at the same time, it would be. So there's a lot of value in giving players the ability or the opportunity to make their own mistakes and find out exactly why it's not used in combat. So that's those loaded up. Let's punch out this way, get across this stream, and insinuate ourselves into this wood. Or onto the edge of this wood, rather. Okay. They probably won't make it on this turn, but let's get Pelican Taco out. That's it. We were going to move proximal, weren't we? Let's bring you back here. That way we can flip left or right, depending. I kind of want the defilade shots. Can we see that way? Yeah, be okay. Like I want the defilade shots. I need to get flanking hits on those chaffies. That's the best chance. They might have no chance, in which case, boy, do I need to wait for those other tanks. I mean, I guess that Panther can see all the way up there, so we might move him back a little bit because he's not supposed to be here. Oh, he's still reversing. That's pretty funny, actually. Let's do it that way, that'll be better. And yeah, Spooker can't see much from where he is. Let's get Fax 2 stashed in the actual wood, as well as Hammer Time. So we've gone where we need them. I'm not sure where I want to put the FO yet. I'm getting all my information, incidentally, from FJ, who is hiding in a wood and has no radio and can't actually communicate because combat mission weirdness. So, I mean... does the Shrimwagen have a radio? No, of course it doesn't. There's no room. It would sink. Anyway, right, that's about all I've got here. We just got to wait for the rest of the tanks. Okay, again, I'm just going to press go. This is turn 11 of Metal on Metal. We are desperately waiting for the first batch of real tanks to turn up. Limbo is doing something around the Wenthoff. I think that is Wenthoff, isn't it? Yeah, the Wenthoff farm over there. There's 3 chaffies hanging around. The only other 2 bits of action that we might see... oh, that's Von Clair's bailed out team getting shot up again. Eric 96 is heading up to this little wood block here with Pelican Taco's scout team. They're going to eyeball that way. And Jeff Brown is continuing to just mosey his way through the woods. So it's quite light stuff. I'm not that sure if... oh, it ran out. Okay, right. Yeah, so basically nothing really happened. Eric is happily driving across this great big field. This is a bigger field than I thought it was. Or he's quite slow. One of those two. And somebody in Von Clair's crew was injured or killed. They are continuing to panic in the wrong direction. Oh, was that Von Clair himself? Was he actually... Did he die from the shell hitting him? Or the explosion? Hard to tell. I'm going to go with he was cut in half by a 75mm HE shell. Because that's... Well, it's more disgusting, but it's definitely cooler. Once again, I've made the mistake of putting the clipboard away. So, Von Claire. You're dead, mate. He is actually dead as well, actually, if we check the thing. Yeah, got the little skull. Everybody's dead, Dave. Well, we're not at that stage yet, so... Von Claire, turn 11 to a Chaffee. Again, these Chaffies. I don't really have anything to... Well, there's not much I can do about Von Claire's bailed outs, because, you know, they can't contribute much anyway, and they're in a state of panic in the open getting shot. So, I mean, maybe it's going to keep the Chaffies busy. I don't know, I could live with that. But, yeah, nothing else has happened. HE Scoop is reorienting a little bit. Yeah, nothing tremendously exciting to report. Cool. Oh, of course, Jordan C turned around. He can at least cover off that angle a bit better, and we have Proximal back here who can react either way if we need to. So yep, I don't see a reason to change up any of the other orders. Let's just get that back. We're still in the early stages here. Okay, we're just going to press go again. This is turn 12. And holy shit, that Chaffee just jumped all the way from there to there. Maybe we can get a flanking shot on it? You can see it. Oh! It's not HE Scoop back there, is it? No, you can't see. It was probably Von Claire's survivors. But if he's got all the way up there without getting spotted... Oh, I don't know. Jordan C can see him. He might be able to get a flanking shot, but I think he's going to keyhole on some of the buildings in that farm and be a menace to the Panzer IIIs. Yeah, that's the other... the thus far offending Chaffee. Okay, so... nobody died, I guess. But... yeah, that Chaffee... oh! Jordan C did see him, and he did have a flanking shot. But it looks like he lost the spot. And, yeah, it's Von Claire's survivors. Or, we can actually be specific, can't we? So, Brofist and Jastra. They're the ones who spotted it. Yeah, he's just popped up to that farm. And he's either... well, I would... if it was me, I'd keyhole around this corner. Yep. But... oh no, he's going this way. I mean... HE Scoop is there and could potentially see. I don't know if I might have to move him to maintain a bit of balance. Or maintain debalance, rather. Okay, so... we had some brief spots, but it looks like... yeah, so Jordan C was aiming, rotating, got to firing, but then lost the spot. Either because he went through the smoke column, or maybe through the bushes or something like that. So that's a little disappointing. We could have got him there, but we didn't. So now we have another chaffee there. So that's whoop. Yeah, so that's where that chaffee was, covering down that line. That's fine. The other one is around here somewhere, I think. Still, and then this one leapfrogged all the way up to this farm. And yeah, my sense is he's either going to tuck it around here just to get early warning for that flank, maybe get some flanking shots on some panthers or things, but yeah, fun times. And meanwhile, Eric 96 and Pelican Taco have negotiated across the stream and are heading off over there. Yeah, not much else is going on. Jeff Brown is waltzing through the woods. Yep. 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 Okay, cool. Started barking. Yeah, Proximal's going to have to bug out. Unless he gets peaked. So, this does kind of begin to beg the question of what are we actually doing with the Panzer IIIs? Because they can't defend themselves and they can't, you know, they can't kill anything, or they haven't so far. They might be able to just moving a little bit further forward. Because he's not supposed to be here yet. Yeah, whatever. Clunk. Yeah, we will just have to suck this up. At least we've got quite a lot of progress going on over on this flank. So we might be able to, like, if we can punch up here with the Tigers, potentially could really maybe make life difficult. You know, again, I really want to be covering this ground off here because that's going to help stop him get out of his deployment zone. It's always good when you can box the other guy in. But yeah, we will see. What's this? This is turn 12, so we're just waiting on the tanks still. Okay, welcome back to turn 13 of Medal on Medal. Unlucky for some, probably unlucky for Von Clair's survivors hanging out over here. Still in a panic, still getting shot at by this chaffee over here. Last turn, Limbo rushed another chaffee up to this farm here. I think he's either going to peek through that keyhole or he's going to peek around the edge of that building there. Either way, Proximal is running away like hell. So yeah, turn 13, unlucky for some. Let's press go. And see if anybody explodes. Oh, there he is. Who can spot him? Oh, Jordan C can spot him. Can we get a hit in? Oh! Yes. Has it done anything? Who knows? Will Jordan C survive? Well, that's two partials. Maybe Von Clair was just unlucky. Now, fingers crossed, Proximal will now get him in the flank because he's now reversed that way. Maybe not. Okay, so that went better than I thought it might. And meanwhile, just to get the other less dramatic bits out of the way, Jeff Brown is still wandering through the woods over there without encountering anything, and Eric 96 is carrying Pelican Taco over to this wood block. So we'll sort that out in a bit, but let's find out what happened over here. It was quite late on, if I remember correctly. Oh, so... Oh, okay. So that's Jordan C over there. He is looking this way. And we are actually getting into a head-to-head engagement here. But obviously, who's Jordan C's gunner? It is Tiger Bunny 68. Wishing we had an 88mm gun there, but yeah, that is a certifiable hit. Where is it? Is it that? I thought that was like part of the sight for the coax. Evidently not. So yeah, maybe Von Claire just got unlucky. Oh, I can hear somebody screaming, so presumably there's a casualty in there. So yeah, reversing off and popping smoke, and then we got another one. This time on the other side of the turret, so maybe, you know... What have we got? We've got Commander, Gunner, Loader. So, you know, maybe we got the Loader, and maybe we just got the Gunner as well. That would be nice. And then he's reversing off this way and has spotted something. Oh, balls. Obviously I didn't hide Itchy Scoop far enough back, so that Chaffee is now having a panic attack because he's definitely spotted. Yeah, I don't think Proximal's in the fight there, so yeah. But yeah, that's cool. You can live with that. Oh, and Von Claire's two survivors. Who is it? It's Brofist and Jastra are finally running away in sensible fashion. So yeah. Let's get Itchy Scoop back out of the fight. So yeah, obviously turn 13, unlucky for some, but not for me. Let's give him a target arc, and bring in this way a bit. So yeah, well done, Jordan C and Tiger Bunny. Good shot, good shooting. Jeff Brown is doing good, getting into position. Pelican Taco can just hop off there. Hopefully there are no American scouts hanging around on the corner of that woodblock about to machine gun them all, or submachine gun them all, I guess. Yeah, not much else to do there, I think. No point moving Jordan C. I don't know where I'd move him to. And the one tank that is a problem is currently smoked up and may or may not have casualties. I mean, we came out on top of that engagement twice, so I would expect we'd be okay doing it again. Either way, I'm not sure where I'd actually move him to. Doesn't seem like the other two chappies have moved. And of course there's one on fire, and one was hanging around in there, in that little farm complex. Don't know where that's gone. If it's still there, or if it came left, or whatever. Either way, that's turn 13. 2 turns away now from getting more tanks. Right, it's turn 14 of the Medal on Medal turn by turn. The last turn, turn 13, we put some Jordan C and his gunner Tiger Bunny 68 put some partial penetrations into the Chaffee that Limbo rushed up here. And it's reversed off, and I suspect it's having a bad day. So that's good news. So we'll see what happens with that, and also hopefully not have Pelican Taco get shot to death over here, along with Eric 96. Now that we've pushed forward a little bit into this wood block. One of the things it's always hard to get a handle on in combat mission is the way time works. So for something like this, we're doing this in 1 minute increments, but you have a lot more thinking time because there might be, half an hour, a few hours, or even like a day or something between turns. We're doing it pretty snappy here, but you still get a bit of like time dilation where we've only been going in game for 14 minutes. 40 minutes is not a lot of time. Okay, so nothing happened, which is absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned here. That is perfect. I am A-okay. Jeff Bridges is still in that wood. Pelican Taco is disembarked. And Eric is standing by for the flanking fire here. No sign of this Chaffee, but it hasn't come out this way because there's no gaps in the hedges. Thank you, Combat Mission Engine. We can't really see it because of the smoke. So yeah, nothing overly exciting. We've lost sight of this one here, or it might have moved into the barn because he can get the defilade fire and work the cutoff from there. And no doors on that side of the barns either, so we have to get in there and really root him out. Anyway, that was turn 14. Next turn, turn 15. At the end of that, we should get more tanks, and we can throw them in and try and do something useful with them. Of course, Limbo will be getting more tanks as well, and that's when the fun begins. It's now turn 15 of Metal on Metal. Not expecting a tremendous amount of stuff, except at the end where we will get a load of tanks. So we're just going to let this play. And we don't particularly have any major expectations here. This smoke might clear, or we might get eyes on that Chappie again, but it doesn't look like it's... Well, the contact icon hasn't moved. I've no idea if the actual Chaffee has moved, or what state it's in. And we have these two here, one there maybe, and one on fire there. Okay. Nothing happened. That's fine. We can live with that because we now have a big pile of toys that have just arrived. Okay. Let's deal with this stuff first. So, Jeff Brown is now in position over here, where he can vaguely have eyes on, but more importantly, he'll be able to hear anything that gets close to there. We should probably get a Pelican Taco in here, so he can keep an eye out there. The Panzer IIIs, we don't need to move. We can take the target arc off Itchy Scoop here. Get him up there where he will be able to see that Chaffee to confirm or deny. We can bring Spucker back up to where he was, hanging around here. And then start thinking about all this stuff. So we actually have the whole company of infantry, which is interesting. Are there places here where I would want to have infantry? Well, yeah, I mean, this wood is probably a good place to have infantry because they can cover the approaches to both of these objectives. Wendhoff and Reimkamp. But even so, I mean, I feel like the ranges... Oh, no, the ranges are probably okay. So we kind of want to get them up there. That probably means following the road along and then coming up here. Which means making sure that there's no Pershings or Shermans or anything hanging around here on that reverse slope playing pop-up to cover that angle. So it could be some time before we head off there. Do I want to cover that with smoke from the artillery? That could be an option. How long is it going to take to bring a fire mission in? Maybe 10 minutes? Could be useful. First, let's start consolidating. So this is Steve 8318. He's the 2IC for 5 Company with the Panthers. So he can come up here alongside his boss, Itchy Scoop. And as we are, do I want the Panthers left or right? So the Tigers have better all-round armor. The Panthers have better frontal armor because of that really thick angled front slope. The Tigers actually don't have as much armor on the front, which sounds weird, but it's not. Let's make sure everybody is opened up. It's not that big of a deal to swap them over because the distances are quite big anyway. So yeah, let's bring... I think Panthers left and Tigers right because it's a bit closer in. Or we could just rush everybody off there, I don't know. Whatever, let's... I need to stop thinking so hard and come up with a plan. Okay, what ground do I want to cover? I want to cover this ground here to stop Limbo outflanking me. I want to cover this ground in the center here to stop him coming up this way, and I want to cover off this left. What's he going to want to do? If we flip things around. So he knows operating down in this ground is probably pretty safe. Might be trying to get some stuff up here. I suspect he wants to cut me off from Rheincamp. He's in Wenthoff. So I feel like he might try and stake a claim to these three objectives. Or he might try and push up here to try and dislocate me off them, I guess. You can kind of cover the approach to Rheincamp from over here. Yeah, so I feel this is another example where we're just gonna kind of mash into one another. So let's send the Tigers out here to go munch on some Chaffies. Ugh. Annoyingly, there's that this stream here. I thought this was a fence for some reason from up on high. I don't particularly want to cross that if I don't have to. So yeah, maybe let's think about the Sant Bagel's platoon from 5 Company here. Let's get them heading off first. We can try and cover off these angles. Let's get Jimmy Changa into that little nook that Eric made and follow up with Sant Bagel. That was Matthew Zaleski going off onto that corner. And he can just kind of get into reserve around here. You can't quite see, but there's a bit of slope there he could pop up onto. So, Tigers. This is Ben Keller's platoon. Let's get you onto the road, I think. Or you need to swing this way. We'll get the Panthers to cover the gap. The other Panthers to cover this gap. But let's get up onto this road. We are covered from Wenthoff if we go that way, are we? Probably not actually. Let's get Kerry up to there, or Keller up to there, and he can stand by to advance down the road at least. And bring Cusack round onto that keyhole there. And Peanut, let's bring you up to Proximal's position. There, while we'll take the risk and we'll send the Royal Cabbage and Hutch off to the left. Over the stream. They can cover off that flank. Right, so this other Panther platoon, Wubba Lubba's platoon. Again, we'll take the risk, go over the stream. Get ourselves... Ah, we can see Wentoff from there, can we? Excellent. Get ourselves forward. That was Casey, Big Chief, and then Wubba Lubba from right to left there. Okay, that's the Panthers all moving out. Infantry, infantry, infantry. You know what, I'm going to leave the infantry there for now. I will just kind of... It's going to take them so long to get anywhere. They are safe where they are because of the ground. So yeah, let's. We're basically going to deploy the tanks basically kind of in an arc across there. Hopefully we'll hoover up some of the Chaffies and then wait and see where Limbo pops in, and then hopefully try and deal with that. Like I say, my main aim is I want to get at least one platoon into this wood. So yeah, I need to get this area cleared, make sure that reverse slope is clear, and the Wendhoff problem is fixed before we deal with that. So yeah, that's the plan.